one day we're gonna have a proper place to do these things. I'm super excited about that. Stay tuned. Oh, hold up. Now we're pretty. Okay. We're talking about pain. We're talking about our approach. We're talking about a Sports Pain Jedi's approach to pain. An approach to pain can be considered like, how do we talk about pain? What do we explain pain to be? An approach can be, what do we do about it? How do we assess what's going on? What is driving someone's pain? And then how do we kind of harden it? So we have a system here, something that we came up with some time ago. We call it the launch system. Launch is an acronym. Launch stands for listen, acknowledge, unpack, and challenge. It's just something we, I don't know, teach students, teach new PTs to use to remind them how important some of this objective, some of the rapport building, therapeutic alliance building that happens in the beginning of an evaluation, how important that is for someone's outcomes. So listen, acknowledge, and unpack. Those are three huge chunks of how we approach our kind of pain diagnosis and pain mitigation strategies. So how do we get people feeling better? So listen is the first one. Typically, we will have evaluations. So now every appointment here is 60 minutes. That is not ultra common, but it is available a lot of places. So you just got to look out for that. If you're calling a place and you want to know about physical therapy, that should be one of your first questions. How much time will I be with my physical therapist every visit? So here it's 60 minutes. Check everywhere else, and figure out what you got there. But if you have an hour, like we do, we spend a large chunk, I would say 20 to 25 minutes, just going through a patient's history, asking them the basic questions. And usually what happens is people will begin talking and start to give you hints about why they're there. Many times they'll say, okay, I hurt my elbow when I was doing this. But lots of times it's more confusing, I don't know if it was one event. I can't really tell you exactly. So you have to start teasing apart the story to find the threads that will lead you to the answer. And so that listening part is super important. We're making our guesses. We are saying, well, it's definitely not this. This person walked in my clinic with knee pain, looking basically okay, walking with a normal gait, normal rhythm. All right, so they didn't break their leg. Do I have to test that? Well, sure, if I suspected that was possible given their history, but I did watch them come in the clinic, leave their car, sit down, and they weren't wincing in pain. And anyone who's a pain or movement pro would know that would be extremely, extremely excruciating, and you'd not be walking anywhere. So, okay, we can make decisions, some basic decisions on severity of injuries by just observing. Listen, we go, okay, I heard a couple things. I'm trying to, the client is delivering this fire hose of information. And we have to go, all right, I can stand right in front of it, or I could kind of come to the side and listen for the info that is pertinent, right? I'm going to make this person just start talking. I want them to talk as freely as possible. I don't want them to try to hide little tidbits of information. I don't want them to assume, oh, well, that's not for him to hear. That appointment to that that GI doc, that doesn't have anything to do with my back pain. Well, it might. So, we just want to talk and get this conversation rolling. Then we start to ask some of the more specific questions, and usually those questions are dictated by what that person said over the course of that 15 or 20 minutes. Then we'll say, okay, here's what we're seeing. And this is something that not a lot of PTs do, and I wish more PTs would. It would really make us all much better, just rapport building machines. Is just give the clinical decision making process. Like like I said about the broken leg. If someone says, I'm really concerned about a bad injury here in my knee, and I'm a tennis player, if we're going to use that person, I say, okay, cool. Well, what is the biggest concern? Like, what if I tore a ligament? Maybe. Well, we're going to test that. We're going to know whether or not that's happened. What else could there be that's wrong? What if I broke a bone? All right. Well, let's talk about what that might look like if you broke a bone, and then what you look like today. And when you acknowledge that person's concern, and then you unpack in a patient-centric or a friendly way, not adding a lot of ridiculous no-sebic language or just confusing language or a lot of multisyllabic words. Like, you don't have to do that. When you do it that way, and when you build rapport, you establish this trust, and then you go, okay, cool. So I can now focus on what we're going to aim at. Okay, well, what do you think, doc? What's wrong? Okay, well, maybe it has something to do with a small muscle on the outside of your hip. Maybe it's got something with your foot. I don't know. But now that we have acknowledged that person's concerns and unpacked the issues that either they thought were really, really going to be a big deal or gave them some insight as to how we're going to make this better, they go, okay, I'm getting comfortable. Now we have to challenge the system. And here it's simple. We pre-test almost every single visit. Whether we use SFMA or any number of other modalities to test for movement and movement dysfunctions and pain. And then we'll do something, whether we're using dry needling, whether we're using joint mobilization, soft tissue work, proprioceptive work, balance, whatever we're doing. And then we retest. And we retest all the time. You'll see people in here doing every version of outcomes measurements as possible, just because we want to know, like, objectively, do we make anything different? So we challenge the system, and then we go again. Then we just launch again. What do you feel? What's concerning you? What do you sense as you move here? And so we launch again. And then if we're feeling good, we can challenge a little harder, and we can challenge a little harder until we find that line where it's like, oh, okay, I feel something. All right, good. We are finding that line. That is how we, as Sports Pain Jedis, assess movement in real time. So let's try to make it hurt, but I want to stack a bunch of wins in movements that maybe you thought you couldn't do because of this injury before. But now that I'm showing you, now you can. That's also going to optimize your healing later, because now we're actually moving around an area which was previously something you might have avoided. So that's all great for healing. And that's generally the approach we take. So we launch everybody over and over and over and over again, and just kind of keep pushing the ball downfield until that person can just run with it themselves. So that's how a Sports Pain Jedi approaches this stuff. If you have questions about more of that, let me know. If you are a Sports Pain Jedi, reach out so I can shout you out, because we need to do more of us. You need to be spending an hour with everybody. You need to be doing a lot of the education. You need to be on rapport, duty at full time. You need to be a therapeutic alliance monster. You need to be a movement professional. You need to know how to coach movement, watch movement, cue movement. And if you can't do those things, you're not a Sports Pain Jedi. So go get some training. If you want some training, come here. Watch how we do it. If you want to go check out Kelly's thread, go check him out. You want to go check out, and there's all kinds of great people out there doing what we do. Just got to go find them. So we're in Alexandria, and come at us. I'll see you guys later. Go move. Execute. Enjoy.